The Honorable Minister of Information, my very good friend and brother, the officials of Federal Ministry of Information, and my team. Honorable Minister, I'm here to pay a friendly courtesy call to you, and I have to thank you for receiving me on a very short notice, and also to thank you for the warm reception I had in your office. Honorable Minister, I'm here on behalf of Federal Ministry of Works and on behalf of my friend, the Minister of Works, to commend you for embarking on the good governance tour across the nation. The good governance tour, as we all know, is to showcase to Nigerians the various projects, programs of the federal government of Nigeria. In the process of doing that, Honorable Minister, you visited some states that had to do with some of our projects, even though 95% of your movement is on my roads, but I'm not complaining, Honorable Minister. And that is one of the problems that the Federal Ministry of Work is having. 95% of the movement of goods and services in this country is done on our roads. Thanks to Mr. President, the railway is coming up. With that one, I believe the Federal Ministry of Works can and will do better in the delivery of our roads in the country. In the course of your tour, Honorable Minister, you visited Plateau State. In Plateau State, I have one of the best projects that any nation or any ministry can deliver. You have seen the beautiful work done on the road by PW. You have seen the detailed engineering work, especially the encampment on the Vom-Manchok Road. Beautiful piece of work. We're proud of that, and even the minister can testify to that. Honorable Minister, we also have a problem of one or two contracts in the same region that we visited. One of the contracts and one of the roads that we visited is the Panyam Wamba Road, which was awarded in 2009 to a company called Stateco, Nigeria Limited. It was awarded at a cost of 5.2 billion, and unfortunately, from that time to 2012, the physical completion of the project is not commendable, is not acceptable, and cannot be tolerated. Honorable Minister, when we came in on board as Ministers of Work, we try to take inventory of the roads in Nigeria. We try to take inventory of the contractors and to see who is performing and the contract that is not performing. This particular road is one of them. And like I said during my briefing to you, I told you, Federal Ministry of Work, for the last 1 year, we have started exploring all the clauses in the contract in order to solve this problem. Honorable Minister, we have exhausted of the contract, the standard clauses, and the contractor has met none of this contract. Honorable Minister, I'm here to inform you the Federal Ministry of Works has terminated the contract awarded to Stateco Nigeria Limited for the Panyam Wamba Road. The contractor has collected money. He has performed some minimum percentage, but still we have 1.1 billion that has not been amortized based on the advance payment paid to the contractor. Honorable Minister, this is one of the dividends and the beauty of the good governance tour that the federal government has embarked upon. We're supposed to showcase to Nigerians what we are doing. Where we are not doing well, we're supposed to correct it. Where we are doing well, we're supposed to be commended and even try to do better. Honorable Minister, today we have taken that decision, and not only that, we are also taking decisions on some other major contracts that have similar problems. There is a contract in Niger State which you have visited, because what we're trying to do, Honorable Minister and Federal Ministry of Works, is really to complement and move in line with the speed and the transformation agenda of Mr. President. We try to key in to the key sectors of the economy. Honorable Minister, you visited Baro, and we're trying to work on the accessibility to the port. There is a contract that is being awarded by Federal Ministry of Works, also in 2009. That contract is the rehabilitation of Agaye-Kacha Baro Road, which is in Niger State. It was awarded at the cost of 1.1 billion with a completion period of 1 year. As I'm talking to you, Honorable Minister, the completion level of that contract is 19%. The Federal Ministry of Works has taken a decision on that, and we've also revoked that contract awarded to Impressive Baccalaureate. That has been done already, Honorable Minister. The Impressive Baccalaureate for 2010-2011, about 900 million naira was allocated for them in these 2 years. They could not access the amount, and we had to return the money to the Treasury. That doesn't speak well for us who want to deliver, and that is why we terminated the contract. Honorable Minister, I assure you, for Federal Ministry of Works, we are doing what we're supposed to do to deliver on the infrastructure in this country. We commend you for what you are doing, and we will continue to partner with you in investigative journalism.
Honorable Ministers, the question I want to find out is about Lapia, the 6 kilometer road around there. Lapia Wamba Road. I mean, Lapia Wamba Road. Yeah. Honorable Minister, talking to the Minister of Works, when we visited that road, the contractor complained of a faulty design given to him by the ministry. You know, he tried to exonerate himself from the whole thing, that was one of the things that delayed the, that led to the slow pace of work. That at the end of the day, instead of the dualization of the road, that now it is realignment. So I don't know what the ministry is saying about that. We want to know the actual thing that has happened to that road and why that road is being delayed.
The media team was only fortunate to meet you in one of two places, at the Bokkos Panyam Road and the Machop Road. And in all the places we went, there were complaints in the 5 states of poor roads. I thought the minister was going to address that issue. That is one. 2, some of the contracts that the contractors did not perform. The question Nigerians are asking, you have controllers of work in the 36 states. But the problem is that these projects have remained for years, and your controllers have remained dormant. Is it a connivance between the contractors and your controllers that they keep quiet for years? Nigerians are worried, and the state of roads are very poor. Nigerians are not happy with the responses from the Ministry of Works. Tell us how you are addressing the issues of dilapidated roads in Nigeria. Tell us the extent of roads to be reconstructed under FEMA the level you have attained, the level of success, and then tell us of these contracts. Tell us the total number of roads in Nigeria that are supposed to be rehabilitated between a given period, because there was this arrangement some 3 years back.
Thank you, Azaria. Next.
Yeah. My name is Abdullah, Voice of Nigeria. I don't know if you're going beyond just terminating the contract. Maybe you prosecute the contractor, because it's like a breach of contract. The contract was given to him in 1999 and he has not delivered. Are you going beyond?
2009.
2009, sorry, 2009.
2007?
Yeah, 2009.
2009.
Okay. Are you taking him to court or to serve as a deterrent to other contractors who have failed to execute projects given to them? Thank you very much.
But this, when we came back from the good governance tour, of course, we were all there, the contractor was not there. So I asked my director of North Central and the controller to make sure they get him for me. And even before he came, I forwarded the complaint to EFCC. EFCC acted on my letter. They arrested the contractor. He was detained. He was interrogated, and the investigation is going on. They have now been their searchlight on the bank that issued the performance advance payment guarantee bond to know whether the contractor has accessed all the money given to him even without performing. EFCC are investigating. Like you rightly mentioned, we want this to serve as a deterrent. We want this to serve as a signal to such contractors all over the nation, not only in the Federal Ministry of Works, because it's not only the direction of the Federal Ministry of Works we are talking. We are talking now the direction of Mr. President, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. That is the focus of the administration, and that is for that contractor. So investigation is going on. The EFCC are investigating, and I assure you, due process will take place in handling this matter. The issue of the dangerous curves in Plateau State, Nasarawa State, sorry. It is one of the contracts that we inherited, and it is one of the contracts that I personally visited 2 months into my office. Like I told you, Honorable Minister, when we came and we took inventory and census of all the bad contracts that we are having, that is one of them. And when I was going, I went with a very high-powered team in order to really have a clearer picture of what we can do. I went with the Senate Chairman Committee on Works and his members. I also went with the House Chairman Committee on Works with the members, and of course my officials from Federal Ministry of Works. When we went there, we were all disappointed like all other Nigerians. We're not happy with that contract. We're not happy with the contractor. And when I was there, the minister, he couldn't have looked at me in the face and told me we've given him a wrong design. He couldn't have said that. And it was when I was telling my controllers that why were they not there when the Minister of Information was there? We're all out visiting the flood areas. That's why now I issued a direct order that anywhere the Minister of Information is going, we need to know well in advance so that one of our controllers will be there with the Honorable Minister. Anywhere you go in this country, I have a project. And anywhere you go in all the town hall meetings, sometimes there is no adequate information from Federal Ministry of Works. And then you hear all kinds of stories talking about the state of our roads. If I am there, or any of us is there, at least we could explain one or two things to put the record straight. So, Honorable Minister, please let us know in advance places that you are visiting, and then I will make sure, even if you are not visiting any road in that particular place, during the town hall meeting, one of us will be there, either my controller or my director of that region. So we went there with the team, we engaged the contractor. The contractor has no basis not to perform. He doesn't have any outstanding certificate that we have not paid. But unfortunately, it is one of the few contracts that we inherited that is bad. And I assure you, Honorable Minister, we are looking at that contract. We are going to move the project forward, and we know how important that portion of the country is. Honorable Minister, we are addressing that issue, and very soon, I hope to update you on that. Thank you very much. Now, somebody, one of our friends, I think from the Guardian, FRC, and he did ask why there are delays in taking decisions. Well, you see, like I told you, what we are doing in Federal Ministry of Works is not only for the Federal Ministry of Works, it's in line with what the President has directed all the ministers to do. We are not here to blame past administration, we are not here to blame our predecessors, no. We are here to correct things, and I believe we are doing the right thing. It is just 2 weeks ago that we had this problem, and you can see the speed and the dispatch with which I have taken a decision. And that is the line we are all taking, that I can assure you. Things will change in the Ministry of Works, and it is changing, and it will change for the better, God willing. The various conditions of our roads, I agree, they can be a lot better, but you need to know the enormity of the problems on the road. In a country whereby 90% of all the haulage, passenger and movement of goods is on the road, definitely there's a lot of pressure on our roads. I have one client in Nigeria. He moves around 25 million metric tons of goods on Nigerian roads. One company alone. Now, that is about the total. Well, that is not to say that we should not live up to our expectation to deliver on good roads. We are working around the clock, especially given the, I believe you must have had the Minister of Information 2 days ago on the, when he was talking after the FEC. He did mention Mr. President has directed that we must make sure by end of December we have improved considerably the conditions of Nigerian roads in order to ease movement of people during the end of the year festivities. We have embarked on that. We are working on that, especially in areas whereby the roads are really bad, like in the southeast. Go from Enugu to Port Harcourt. We are doing a lot of work there. What we have done, Honorable Minister, is to divide the road into four sections, and divided it into contractors that must deliver before the end of this year. We have, the Honorable Minister of Works recently has also briefed the press about what we call Safe Passage Project. Now, these are initiatives that we have taken in order to improve on the surfacing of our roads, to arrest dangerous areas whereby it is a trap or the potholes are bad, so that there will be ease of traffic movement during the end of the year. Very soon we'll update the press. You will see us going around the country to monitor, and there will be a lot of improvement on this road. Secondly, if you look at what we are doing in Federal Ministry of Works, is to prioritize. When we came, we made a lot of projects spread all over the nation. So what we are doing is we have prioritized these projects in order to achieve service delivery. When we came in, from the time we came in to now, we have completed 14 road networks in Nigeria. And we are waiting for Mr. President to commission these roads. And in any of these states that you are going, we will ask the Honorable Minister to please visit some of these roads. We'll give you the details of this road, Honorable Minister, and I'm sure you will be impressed with the achievements so far done. We are working, we'll continue to work, and especially now that the rains are over. So we are taking advantage of the dry season. And the Honorable Minister here, I have to thank you for always asking for our budget to given to us during the months of the dry season so that we can achieve optimally. No matter how you want to work during the dry season in the Federal Ministry of Works, it's always a low season for us, but we are working. For FEMA, what we have done is to strengthen their capacity for road rehabilitation. I believe the former rehabilitation work and the attitude of FEMA is different from what we are seeing now. Before, FEMA used to go to excavate, move to the next section to excavate a stretch of maybe 3-4 kilometers, then come back to start backfilling. In the process of doing that, they will excavate, leave it open, and then there will be scarcity of fund. That is where there is a lot of accidents or vehicles damaged, but not anymore. In FEMA, what we are doing now is we cut, backfill, compact, and move forward. We have taken delivery of 36 road patches. Prime Minister, these are sophisticated road patches where the machine is all-encompassing. We excavate, we backfill, we roll over, and then we move to the next one. This is what we are deploying in all the states of the Federation. And if like it is off the road, it is not on the major trunk road in the country, we have what we call cold asphalt. This cold asphalt is used now to drive in a long distance without losing the content and the moisture of the asphalt. This is what we have done. So you will see a lot of improvement on what we are doing also in FEMA. The new management has gotten a new board, and I believe we will all deliver together. Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Directors in the Federal Ministry of Works, Special Assistant to the Honorable Minister, the National Secretary of NUJ, who is standing in for the President of Nigerian Union of Journalists, directors in my ministry, the Federal Ministry of Information, staff of the ministry, members of the National Good Governance Store, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. First, let me seize this opportunity to welcome my colleague and friend to the Federal Ministry of Information, and to very sincerely thank you and your delegation for this visit. We can't thank you more, particularly for the issues that you have raised in the course of this visit relating to prompt actions that have been taken by the Federal Ministry of Works to address some of the problematic contracts and road projects in the country of those roads to Nigerians. I will start by commending the Minister of Works, Architect Mike, and yourself. You are very good, self, for the new momentum you have brought to the ministry since two of you were appointed as ministers. As a member of the Federal Executive Council, I can tell Nigerians that these two people, these two ministers, since they assumed duty, have given us hope that it will not be business as usual on the road contracts. I'm also aware that for quite a while they submitted a list of 14 roads that have been completed, which are ready for commissioning by Mr. President in different parts of the country. This again gives us the hope that there is a turnaround in the road sector. Indeed, the Good Governance Tour was approved by Mr. President and all the 36 governors to enable governments at different levels to really monitor key projects that are being executed by the federal, state, and local governments. We promised when we did the ministerial platform and every minister came to present their own roadmap and priorities that we'll be visiting some of the projects that the ministers had listed. The purpose of the visitation will be to assess progress being made. And let me use these auspices to thank Mr. President, to thank my colleagues in the Federal Executive Council, and to thank all the state governors and local government chairmen for accepting the idea of the good governance tour. Like we have stated on every of our visits so far, the tour is an assessment tour. It's assessment of work in progress. It's not expected that in 2 years, governors or the president would have delivered on all their mandates. No. But 2 years is long enough for us to begin to see what good steps have been taken, what projects are going on, where have we reached. And for us in the Federal Executive Council, we have witnessed a lot of award of projects by Mr. President in the last 2 years. And the President is not expected to personally and physically visit these projects. It is we ministers and other stakeholders that can undertake this. And that is why the good governance tour was approved by the Federal Executive Council and the National Economic Council as one of the steps we must take to verify what is happening in our various projects, state, federal projects across the country. Democracy is about carrying the people along. And democracy is about service delivery. Our country faces quite a number of challenges, but I've seen this president shown, clear determination to address some of the problems, some inherited, some traditionally there for decades. You just mentioned it. 95% of all movements in Nigeria are going on the roads because for the past 20, 30 years, the railways have collapsed because of our poor management. The railways in the country collapsed, all the corridors collapsed. Now, what we have seen during this good governance tour is that the president's program of bringing back the railways is making serious progress. We have seen that one of the two corridors, we have two major corridors really, the Lagos, Mina, Kano corridor, and the Port Harcourt, Enugu, Makodi, Jos, Meduguri corridor of the Nigerian railway system. Already, Honorable Minister, when we went to Kwara and Niger states, we saw that the Nigerian Railway Corporation has already rehabilitated the entire western and northwestern corridors. We rode the train to verify between Mina and Ofa. We also rode the train from Zungiru to Akere, where one of the most difficult reconstructions took place. And I can tell you from what we saw on this tour, and the Minister of Transport, Senator Umar, had earlier assured us, and we went to verify on the visit to Mina. It is clear to us that by the end of November, this month, to middle of December, the last section of the rail line between Lagos and Kano, which is now between Zungiru and Mina, will be fixed. Will be fixed. And once this is done, we expect by Christmas that travelers from Lagos to Kano will go by rail, uninterrupted, to and fro. That is what the minister assured us, and we have so evident that this is really clearly now being realized. Now, once you deliver on the rail lines between Lagos and Kano, the pressure on the road, and the clear, the kind of haulage between Lagos and the north, and it follows this corridor of Ibadan, Lagos, Ibadan, Ilorin, Mina, Kano roads. Now, when the rail system is delivered by the end of December, the pressure on the roads will reduce, and then the Ministry of Works can now follow up and rehabilitate a number of the roads that are problematic along those corridors. We also saw good work between Mokwa and Jaba, because that section of the road was virtually being delivered when we visited Ilorin about 4 weeks ago. Now, again, we have been given the assurance that work is going on expeditiously between Port Harcourt, Enugu, Makurdi, Lafia, Jos, Gombe, Maiduguri. The railway rehabilitation of the southeast, north central, and northwest corridors is being rehabilitated. And the minister again reassured us when we were Makurdi that by the end of 2013, the entire corridor will be rehabilitated. So this, for me, is evidence of what the president is doing, which Nigerians need to know. Now, specifically on the road network, let me thank you for what you have done. You have shown that when the president said go out and inspect these roads, he was doing so not just for the sake of it. The road between Bokkos, Panyam, Wamba, I thank you for the decision you made. Clearly, when we visited, you told us that action was being taken, and we're happy to see that action has been taken. And that's what Nigerians want to see, that when we say something will be done, it will be done. That's what people want to see. And the road between Akwanga and Nasarawa along the Akwanga Wamba Road, which is the dangerous curves that we have discussed, we noticed that since 2009, when the contract was awarded, that contractor has been more out of sight than on the site doing any work at all. And so when we visited, well, every contractor will always try to justify what he's doing. But we found that the entire stretch of the road that is supposed to be fixed about 6 kilometers. 6 kilometers. You can't deliver a road of 6 kilometers in 4 years, then you know that there is a problem. So I am happy that you say again, you are already taking action because the road is part of the roads you are reviewing. We've seen a lot of good evidence of work being done by the Federal Ministry of Works, because in the course of this tour, some reports in the papers indicated that the Good Governance Tour team was condemning the Ministry of Works. On the contrary, we have seen that the Federal Ministry of Works is re-energized, is doing its work and prioritizing the roads. So 14 roads delivered, and then the priority between now and Christmas, Mr. President has given the order and we're having confirmation now. So I believe that what your ministry needs to do, therefore, is to continue to partner with the Good Governance Tour team, so that those contractors that still think that it is business as usual, that they will collect money from the federal government and refuse to work, they should know that as far as Mr. President and the federal government are concerned, that era is gone behind us. We want to ensure that things are properly done. If you receive money to work, you must work. You must deliver according to the terms of your contract. To get a contract is a privilege. So I believe that we will work with you. Everywhere we have gone, even when we went to Lafia, let me remind you that your controller in Lafia was there at the site with us. He was on all the roads, and good job you are doing. Lafia, Obi, Away Road. They have gone 56 kilometers and out of 84 kilometers, which is great work. The Lafia Doma Road, again, virtually completed. Only 3 or so culverts are standing. Great work. You have earlier mentioned the Von Manchok, wonderful engineering job done by the PW under the supervision of the Federal Ministry of Works. So we will continue to partner to move around. We saw problem between Otupo, Enugu, my 9th mile road, a problematic road, one of the problematic roads. We want to thank you that bulletin has been sent out of that road, and we understand that Rock Bridge has now been given the road. We saw him aside, and he told us that he will do everything possible to deliver by next year. But we know that job is still almost where it was when bulletin left. I will advise that if you are to deliver on that road, you really have to hold the contractor by the jugular, particularly on that Otupo road. You know, it's been on for a long time, and people are not happy. But we saw a good job on the way to Otupo road, and we believe that a lot of, there are good examples of what is happening, and of course, a few people contracts are disappointing, but we should all work together and reassure you that wherever we will go, we will make sure that we give you enough notice so that your people will go together with us. It is not to condemn, it is to make sure that we correct what is not working and to keep people on their toes so that they can do their job. Many people blame everything happening on the president. No. Once a job has been given, the president has done his part, the money has been paid, and people are not doing their jobs. So it is our duty to make sure that we monitor and ensure that people do their jobs. We went to Shetu Alau Barracks, 177 Guard Battalion Barracks in Kefi, and we saw that the MDG projects there, one contractor did a great job, and another one did a very shoddy job. He renovated the school, and in 2 weeks the floors failed. So when we went there, we visited both projects, and you could see clearly that everybody saw it was not a good job. And I got a text message this morning from the chairperson of the Presidential Committee on Barracks Rehabilitation that the contractors have been told to go back to site and fix those problems. And these are the dividends of the good governance tour.
Yes.
This is why the president sent us out, to make sure that what he has asked to be done for Nigerians will be done properly. So I want to assure you that we are now preparing to fine-tune the good governance tour. We'll be hitting the southeast from the 22nd or so, of 22nd. We'll be hitting the southeast zone of the country. And since you're already here, throughout that month and December will be in the southeast. So it will be nice to place your people on notice and also give us a summary, of all the things we are doing there, so that when we go we can highlight what is working. I want to thank you very sincerely. This is what good governance is all about. You respond when there is a need to respond. And I know that the two of you in the Federal Ministry of Works are doing your best, and we will continue to give you all the support necessary to ensure we deliver. Thank you very much. God bless us all. Thank you.